If you've bought property before, whether in Germany, the Netherlands, the UK, or wherever you're from, you probably have a rough sense of how the process works. You find a property, make an offer, lawyers get involved, money moves, and you get the keys. Greece works differently. Not in a way that is complicated once you understand it, but in ways that will catch you off guard if nobody warns you first. Most buyers only find out about these things when they are already in the middle of it. So today, we are walking you through 10 things that regularly surprise international buyers in Greece. Some are legal, some are practical, and at least one involves coffee. Hi, I'm Dee from Elks is at Home in Greece. We've been helping people buy property in Greece for over 35 years. If you'd like clear and practical insights into the Greek real estate market, feel free to subscribe to this channel. Point 1. The same property may appear with several agents. The first surprise often happens before you've even spoken to anyone. You find a villa online, pool, sea view, exactly what you were looking for. You save it. 5 minutes later, on a different website, you find it again. Same pool, same view, slightly different price. This isn't a glitch. In Greece, sellers often work with more than one agency at the same time, rather than giving exclusivity to a single agent. The same property can appear in several different places with slightly different details. 2. One agent may represent both buyer and seller. In many countries, buyer and seller each have their own agent. In Greece, one agent is sometimes involved with both sides of the same transaction. This isn't unusual, and it doesn't make the process less professional. What matters is clarity. Who the agent represents, what the fee is, and what support you can get as the buyer. And a good agent explains this upfront. If they don't, that's worth noticing. 3. You will need a lawyer. This surprises buyers from markets where lawyers are optional or where the notary handles everything. In Greece, a lawyer is not optional. They check the legal status of the property, review ownership titles, confirm the seller has the right to sell, and look for anything in the property's history that could become a problem. And this matters especially in Greece, where homes can have long ownership histories, inherited land, and older documentation that needs careful review. 4. The purchase sum is paid directly to the seller. In many countries, funds move through an escrow account until the transaction is complete. In Greece, the purchase amount is paid directly to the seller at the time of signing the final contract before the notary. This can feel less structured than buyers are used to, but it sits within a formal legal framework. Your lawyer and notary will explain exactly when and how the payment is made and how everything gets recorded. 5. The seller provides the engineer certificate. Before a property can be sold in Greece, an engineer must inspect it and issue technical certificates confirming the building matches its legal and planning status. That's what physically there corresponds what's on paper. And this is arranged and paid for by the seller. As a buyer, you can still appoint your own engineer for an independent assessment, particularly for older homes or properties with modifications. Think of it as a second set of professional eyes. 6. In rural Greece, don't expect a street name and house number. Properties outside villages are often identified by the nearest settlement, a local area name, or GPS coordinates. The post works differently too. In many rural areas, mail isn't delivered to your door. It arrives at the nearest village post office or a community collection point. Think of it less as waiting for the postman and more as a brief visit to the village. For a holiday home, this is rarely a real problem, but it's worth knowing before it catches you off guard. 7. Before a viewing, your agent may ask you to sign a viewing agreement or property indication form. This records that the agent introduced you to that specific property, protecting their role if you later decide to buy. It's not an offer. It commits you to nothing about the purchase itself. But read it carefully, make sure it's in a language that you understand, and ask if anything is unclear. Signing something before you've seen the kitchen may feel formal, but here it's standard practice. 8. A viewing may include coffee. Greece takes hospitality very serious, and property viewings are no exception. It's not unusual to arrive, meet the owner, and find yourself sitting down for a coffee before you've even looked at a single room. You may hear about the neighborhood, get a recommendation for the nearest beach, and learn how the house feels in summer from someone who actually lived in it. And this is more useful than it sounds. You pick up things that no listing will ever tell you: where the afternoon shade falls, how the terrace feels in the evening. The coffee is not part of the legal process, but it does seem to help. 9. When viewing properties in Greece, pay as much attention to the outdoor spaces as to the interior. In the Greek climate, outdoor living isn't just an extra feature. It's where daily life takes place for most of the year. And because of this, having a smaller indoor space isn't usually seen as a drawback. Instead, it's a practical trade-off that fits how homes are actually used. In many houses, the living room may technically be indoors, but in reality, people spend most of their time outside. 10. The process is practical but still personal. Buying property in Greece is a formal process. Tax numbers, notarial contracts, due diligence, engineer certificates, payments, and registrations. At the same time, it is surprisingly personal. You may meet the owner, hear the history of the home, and have a conversation with local professionals who have known the area for decades. There are documents and signatures, but there may also be coffee, local tips, and a discussion about where to find the best bread in the village. And none of these 10 things are complicated once they are explained. Multiple listings, direct payments, mandatory lawyers, engineer certificates, rural addresses, viewing forms, coffee during a viewing. They are all part of how Greece works. Once you know what to expect, they stop being surprising. If you're thinking about buying property in Greece, you can always reach out to our team at Elxis. We've been helping international buyers navigate the process since 1991. And if you enjoyed this video, then subscribe for more insights into Greek real estate.